Hello everyone. Now in this lecture, let's discuss about the beta function. As we know that this gamma function is related to the improper integral. When the given integral is the improper integral, and to solve this improper integral, we use this gamma function and the beta function. So first of all, let's see what is improper integral. As you know that this integral a to b f of x dx. Okay. Now in this integral, a and b are the limits of a given function, and this function f of x is called as the integrand of the given integral. Now, if in a given integral the limits a and b, if any one are infinity, minus infinity, or both, plus infinity, minus infinity, or both, then the given integral is called as the improper integral. And if the given function is unbounded, that f of x is unbounded for the given limits, then we also say that the given function, the given integral is the improper integral. This beta function is also applicable for the improper integral. Now in this beta function, we have that improper integral is in the form of that integration 0 to 1 x to the power n minus 1 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 x. This is the beta function given in the form where m and n are the positive integers. This given integral is for the beta function in m and n. Both are the m and n both are the positive integers. Okay. This beta function denoted by this symbol, that is beta of m comma n. That beta of m comma n is equals to this improper integral. Therefore, this beta of m comma n, that beta function is given as that beta of m comma n is equals to integration 0 to 1 x to the power m minus 1 into 1 minus x to the n minus 1 into dx, where this m and n both are the positive integers. Okay. Now, let's see the various examples and properties based on this beta function. Now, properties of beta function. Properties of beta function. Properties of beta function. First property, which is also called as the symmetry property. Here, prove that beta of m comma n is equals to that beta of m comma n. Okay. Here we have to show that beta of m comma n is equals to that beta of m comma n. Okay. Now, as we know that by the definition of beta function, we have that beta of m comma n is equals to integration 0 to 1 x to the power n minus 1 into 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 into dx. This is the definition of beta function. Now, in the next step, put this term 1 minus x into another variable. So, putting that 1 minus x is equals to y in equation 1. Now, from this equation, find the value of x. So, from this equation, that the value of x is equals to that 1 minus y is equals to x. In equation 1, we need dx, so differentiate this term. So, here we get that minus dy is equals to dx. Again, the given limits are for the variable x. So, here we also need to replace this limits for the variable y. So for in the next step, for x equals to 0, then as we know that this x equals to 1 minus y. If x is equals to 0, then 1 minus y is equals to 0. So this implies y is equals to 1. If x is equals to 1, then if x is equals to 1, then that 1 minus y is equals to 1. Again, this y is equals to 0. Okay, these are the limits for the new variable we have taken. So put all these values in equation 1. All these values in equation 1, we get that beta of m comma n is equals to, now see, for x is equals to 0, here we get y is equals to 1, and for x is equals to 1, here y we get 0. Okay, now x, replace this x variable as 1 minus y to the power n minus 1, and this 1 minus x replace in terms of y, and its power is equals to n minus 1, and then dx is equals to minus dy, and then dx is equals to minus dy. Put this minus sign outside of the integral, so we are get minus of integration 1 to 0, that 1 minus y to the power m minus 1, here y to the power n minus 1 into dy. To remove this negative sign, interchange the limit. So here we get integration 0 to 1, that y to the power n minus 1, that 1 minus y to the power m minus 1 into dy. Okay. Now let's compare this equation to the equation number 1. Here this x variable replaced as y, and that also this term is replaced in terms of y. So now comparing this equation to this equation, so here we get this value as beta of. Now let's see, here is the power of x is equals to m, and here is the m. Now first we use the equation number 2. Now changing variable y to x, we equation what we get, that beta of m comma n is equals to integration 0 to 1 is y is replaced as x, its power n minus 1. Again this y replaced as x, 1 minus x to the power n minus 2 into dy. Sorry, again here replace this y as in terms of x. Now compare this equation with the given equation number 1. So here is the value of beta of m comma n, because here the power of x is equals to m, that's why here is the first term m, and here the power of in terms of n minus 1, that's why we took here the second term as well. So in this term, now let's see, the power of x is n, so that's why we took the first entry as n, and again the power of 1 minus x to the power is given as m minus 1, that's why we took here the second term of this beta function as here. So this shows that beta of m comma n is equals to that beta of n comma n. Hence, this is also called as the symmetry property of a beta function. So in this way, we easily prove that beta of m comma n is equals to beta of m comma n. To prove this theorem, we firstly prove the derivative from the definition of beta function, that beta of m comma n is equals to this value. In the next step, we replace this 1 minus x as y, and for that equation, we find the value of x. Then this given limits for the variable x, just replace these variables. In this example, we replace this x in terms of y. So we also need to replace this limit for y variable too. So that's why we also find here the values of y. Now substitute all these values in equation number 1. Here we get this value. Took this negative sign outside of the integral. To remove this negative sign, we need to interchange the limits. So here we get. In the next step, we change the variable from y to x. So this equation converted in terms of this. Compare this equation to the equation number 1. So here is the power of x equals to n. So that's why we took here first n, and this power of in terms of m. So that's why we took here the second reading as m. So in this way, this is the proof for this theorem. Thank you.